มากนะครับว่ามันเป็นสมาคมของข้าราชการบวกนักการเมืองแต่ว่ามันมีช่องว่างกับประชาชนแต่ณวันนี้เนี่ยในกฎบัตรได้ระบุแน่ชัดแล้วว่าจะต้องรับฟังประชาชนและให้ประชาชนมีส่วนร่วมในทิศทางแล้วก็ในกระบวนการตัดสินใจของอาเซียนให้มากที่สุดเท่าที่จะมากได้ซึ่งมันก็สอดคล้องกับรัฐธรรมนูญของไทยนะเพราะว่าได้มีบทบัญญัติเกี่ยวกับทางภาคประชาสังคมที่ว่าภาคประชาสังคมหรือประชาชนไม่ใช่มีสิทธิเสรีภาพในการไปหย่อนบัตรเลือกตั้งณวันเลือกตั้งเท่านั้นเองแต่ว่าตลอดปีตลอดอายุของรัฐธรรมนูญหรือของรัฐบาลก็ดีประชาชนมีส่วนได้ส่วนเสียสามารถที่จะเข้าไปถอดถอนไปติดตามเข้าถึงข้อมูลและร่วมในกระบวนการตัดสินใจในเรื่องสำคัญของประเทศชาติของสังคมด้วย
This small 50-page document can be carried anywhere and embodies the power to build the spirit of the ASEAN communities. The heart and spirit of the ASEAN Charter lies in the preamble. We, the peoples of the member states of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, as represented by the heads of state or government of Brunei Darussalam, the Kingdom of Cambodia, the Republic of Indonesia, the Lao People's Democratic Republic, Malaysia, the Union of Myanmar, the Republic of the Philippines, the Republic of Singapore, the Kingdom of Thailand, and the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Noting with satisfaction the significant achievements and expansion of ASEAN since its establishment in Bangkok through the promulgation of the ASEAN Declaration. Recalling the decisions to establish the ASEAN Charter and the Vientiane Action Program, the Kuala Lumpur Declaration on the establishment of the ASEAN Charter, and the Cebu Declaration on the blueprint of the ASEAN Charter. Mindful of the existence of mutual interests and interdependence among the peoples and member states of ASEAN, which are bounded by geography, common objectives, and shared destiny. Inspired by and united under one vision, one identity, and one caring and sharing community. United by a common desire and collective will to live in a region of lasting peace, security, and stability, sustained economic growth, shared prosperity and social progress, and to promote our vital interests, ideals, and aspirations. Respecting the fundamental importance of amity and cooperation and the principles of sovereignty, equality, territorial integrity, non-interference, consensus, and unity in diversity. Adhering to the principles of democracy, the rule of law and good governance, respect for and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms. Resolved to ensure sustainable development for the benefit of present and future generations, and to place the well-being, livelihood, and welfare of the peoples at the center of the ASEAN community building process. Convinced of the need to strengthen existing bonds of regional solidarity to realize an ASEAN community that is politically cohesive, economically integrated, and socially responsible in order to effectively respond to current and future challenges and opportunities. Committed to intensifying community building through enhanced regional cooperation and integration, in particular by establishing an ASEAN community comprising the ASEAN Security Community, the ASEAN Economic Community and the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community, as provided for in the Bali Declaration of ASEAN Concord II, hereby decide to establish, through this charter, the legal and institutional framework for ASEAN. And to this end, the heads of state or governments of the member states of ASEAN, assembled in Singapore on the historic occasion of the 40th anniversary of the founding of ASEAN, have agreed to this charter.
ASEAN is centered on people. We are thinking about the people of ASEAN as a whole.
The ASEAN Charter sets out 15 purposes. Charter 1. To maintain and enhance peace, security, and stability, and further strengthen peace-oriented values in the region. To enhance regional resilience by promoting greater political, security, economic, and socio-cultural cooperation. To preserve Southeast Asia as a nuclear weapon-free zone and free of all other weapons of mass destruction. To ensure that the peoples of member states of ASEAN live in peace with the world at large in a just, democratic, and harmonious environment. To create a single market and production base which is stable, prosperous, highly competitive, and economically integrated, with effective facilitation for trade and investment in which there is a free flow of goods, services, and investment, facilitated movement of business persons, professionals, talents, and labor, and free flow of capital. To alleviate poverty and narrow the development gap with ASEAN through mutual assistance and cooperation. To strengthen democracy, enhance good governance and the rule of law, and to promote and protect human rights and fundamental freedoms with due regard to the rights and responsibilities of the member states of ASEAN. To respond effectively in accordance with the principle of comprehensive security to all forms of threats, transnational crimes, and transboundary challenges. To promote sustainable development so as to ensure the protection of the region's environment, the sustainability of its natural resources, the preservation of its cultural heritage, and the high quality of life of its peoples. To develop human resources through closer cooperation in education and lifelong learning, and in science and technology for the empowerment of the peoples of ASEAN and for the strengthening of the ASEAN community. To enhance the well-being and livelihood of the peoples of ASEAN by providing them with equitable access to opportunities for human development, social welfare, and justice. To strengthen cooperation in building a safe, secure, and drug-free environment for the peoples of ASEAN. To promote a people-oriented ASEAN in which all sectors of society are encouraged to participate in and benefit from the process of ASEAN integration and community building. To promote an ASEAN identity through the fostering of greater awareness of the diverse culture and heritage of the region, and to maintain the centrally and proactive role of ASEAN as the primary driving force in its relations and cooperation with its external partners in a regional architecture that is open, transparent, and inclusive.
For the world, I think ASEAN will be a good partner of the other regional communities and the UN as a whole, in terms of we are trying to promote peace and prosperity in this region, and we are trying to help each other in terms of solving the other problems which may rise in the region or within the proximity of our region in the future as well.
In pursuit of the purposes stated in Article 1, ASEAN and its member states reaffirm and adhere to the fundamental principles contained in the declarations, agreements, conventions, concords, treaties, and other instruments of ASEAN. ASEAN and its member states shall act in accordance with the following principles: respect for the independence, sovereignty, equality, territorial integrity, and national identity of all ASEAN member states; shared commitment and collective responsibility in enhancing regional peace, security, and prosperity; renunciation of aggression and of the threat of use of force or other actions in any manner inconsistent with international law; reliance on peaceful settlement of disputes; non-interference in the internal affairs of ASEAN member states.
There is this, one beautiful thing about ASEAN, which they always keep attacking us from the outside. They say, why don't you get rid of the principle of non-intervention? I said, excuse me? May I ask you, the simple question is, what is the very essence of a state? Sovereignty. And what's the essence of sovereignty? It's non-intervention. So why do you want me to remove from a regional organization like ours the very essence of the existence of states? And in fact, the charter very clearly states we will be an intergovernmental organization. An intergovernmental organization call for states to exist, and the essence of states is non-intervention. If you can tell me, please, that you can convince the United Nations to remove from the Charter of the UN the non-intervention clause, then perhaps I will advocate it for ASEAN. That's crazy, no? So, non-intervention is the essence of the state. You don't want the state? Then tell me so.
Respect for the right of every member state to lead its national existence free from external interference, subversion, and coercion. Enhanced consultations on matters seriously affecting the common interest of ASEAN. Adherence to the rule of law, good governance, the principles of democracy, and constitutional government. Respect for fundamental freedoms, the promotion and protection of human rights, and the promotion of social justice.
Just look at the charter. The idea that we should have a human rights body with all humility, I should say, that came from the Philippines. The Philippines proposed that. I should know it because I developed the thought. I developed that thought, and we presented it. And on the instructions of President Ramos, who was then the eminent person of the Philippines, and eventually on instructions of no less than the president, I had to pursue it because they are my authorities and they said it must be so. So we negotiated it.
Upholding the United Nations Charter and international law, including international humanitarian law subscribed to by ASEAN member states. Abstention from participation in any policy or activity, including the use of its territory, pursued by any ASEAN member state or non-ASEAN state or any non-state actor, which threatens the sovereignty, territorial integrity, or political and economic stability of ASEAN member states. respect for the different cultures, languages, and religions of the peoples of ASEAN, while emphasizing their common values in the spirit of unity in diversity. The centrality of ASEAN in external political, economic, social, and cultural relations, while remaining actively engaged, outward-looking, inclusive, and non-discriminatory, and adherence to multilateral trade rules and ASEAN's rule-based regimes for effective implementation of economic commitments and progressive reduction towards elimination of all barriers to regional economic integration in a market-driven economy.
We are working on the economics, on the transportation, on education, on cultures, and last but not least, about the security as well. We will also working on the threats, just as SARS, bird flus, and we are trying to set up network to prevent natural disasters, just like tsunami that we faced about 3 years ago.
The ASEAN Charter provides ASEAN with a legal personality at the same level as the United Nations. All 10 member states have the rights and obligations to follow the articles in the ASEAN Charter. The ASEAN Summit meeting is the supreme policy-making body of ASEAN and passing down those policies for implementation to ASEAN sectoral ministerial bodies. All 10 ASEAN foreign ministers form a mediating body called the ASEAN Coordinating Council.
ASEAN has not always implemented what we have said. We've wanted to do a lot. We've had many agreements, declarations, commitments. They've been implemented in part. I think somebody once did a tally. The proportion was not as high as we would have liked.
ในการที่ต่างกันมากนี้เนี่ยมันจะมาร้องเพลงเดียวกันจะมาขับเคลื่อนเรื่องเดียวกันเนี่ยเห็นพ้องต้องกันยากนะนอกจากนั้นแล้วเนี่ยผมคิดว่าการตกลงกันหน้ากระดาษแบบเจ้าหน้าที่ทำร่วมกันแบบทรัคหนึ่งนะฮะคืออาเซียนก็ทำงานเป็นแบบว่ามี3รางนะครับรางของแรกก็จะเป็นพวกเจ้าหน้าที่ทางการอะไรเงี้ยก็ชอบตกลงกันบนหน้ากระดาษนะอยู่ตลอดแล้วก็ทำได้ไปถึง 30%ทรัค2ก็เป็นพวกวิชาการที่แบบเสนอความคิดทำวิจัยไปทำอะไรต่ออะไรมาอย่างที่พวกผมทำแต่ทรัคที่3เนี่ยโดนละเลยมานานนะทรัคที่3นี่จะเป็นทรัคที่ผลักดันอาเซียนให้เกิดความบูรณาการได้จริงๆในระยะยาวก็คือว่าพวกประชาชนเนี่ยแหละนะพวกคนของอาเซียนในประเทศต่างๆเนี่ยถ้าเห็นพ้องต้องกันนะครับแล้วก็กดดันแล้วก็ผลักดันเจ้าหน้าที่ทางการรัฐบาลให้ทำไปในทางเดียวกันเนี่ยผมคิดว่าแรงส่งจะมหาศาลแรงส่งจะไม่เคยมีอย่างนี้มาก่อน
That is why we now have a charter which is to cause us to have systematic monitoring of what we have done and accountability if it is not followed up and implemented. So I think the intent is to have a tighter organization, and I think the leaders understand that if they do not do this in ASEAN, if we do not do this in ASEAN, ASEAN is in trouble because China is not waiting.
The master plan of making ASEAN one community, held up by 3 main community pillars, necessitates the establishment of 3 separate ASEAN community councils. The ASEAN Political Security Community Council, the ASEAN Economic Community Council, and the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community Council. Coordinating activities at all levels, initiating new projects that will move ASEAN forward, and leading the world is the Secretary General of ASEAN, whose term extends for 5 years and looks after all administrative staff and all workers at the ASEAN Secretariat, Jakarta.
So the charter that we already signed and implemented since December last year will be something that make an arrangement for ASEAN as an organization and define the role of the Secretary General of ASEAN to supervise and implement something that we are doing